What up, snitches? I'm the Animaniac, and my next stop on this Disney movie marathon, I can only get there with pixie dust and happy thoughts. I'm going to talk about Neverland's own Peter Pan. Directed by Clyde Geronimi, Wilfred Jackson, and Hamilton Lusk, and based on the play Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up by J.M. Barrie, it's a story about children being whisked away to an island by a flying boy in his little ferry and end up fighting pirates. Specifically their captain, who has a bone to pick with the title character. Walt Disney intended Peter Pan to come out after Snow White, but Paramount had the film rights, and a London organization named the Hospital for Sick Children, who held the copyrights, tried to convince Disney to make an agreement with Paramount but didn't play out the way they had hoped. However, they were able to acquire the animation rights to the play, outbidding Fleischer Studios. Can anybody imagine what Peter Pan would look like if Fleischer got a hold of the movie rights? That would have been crazy. Okay, so after obtaining the rights and when they were into putting together the story reel, Walt considered all the ways to adapt the story for the film. The first version focused on Peter's backstory for the majority of it. But Walt wanted to get right into the story, so the second version was about Peter kidnapping Wendy to have her be a mother to the Lost Boys. But Walt thought that plot was too dark, so he decided to go back to the plot in the original play for the last draft. Of course, when Pearl Harbor got bombed in 1941, the US military took over the studio and commissioned the studio to produce training and war propaganda films, so they had to halt production on this and Alice in Wonderland for the meantime. Once the war ended, Walt appointed Jack Kinney to direct Peter Pan, if only to keep him from going to MGM. Because of the delays, Walt got so impatient that he asked Kinney to start work on a scene before the script was even finished. But after 6 months, production was put on the back burner to give Cinderella more attention. Things were starting to look up for Walt in 1947 as the studio's finances began to stabilize. He decided to resume production in 1949, this time to be completed for its 1951 release, where it was praised for how it looked, but criticized its lack of depth compared to the book. A criticism that persists to this day, where it currently holds a Rotten Tomatoes critical score of 80%. And it raked in $87.4 million after adjusting for inflation, and the re-releases from 1958 to 1989, with 2 limited runs at a festival and a select theater in 2003 and 2013 respectively, the lifetime gross for the film came to $405 million. For anyone who's wondering, I'll give my thoughts on Peter Pan first and then talk about its depiction of Native Americans before I give my final grade. And I'm only going to judge it by itself and not draw comparisons to the book. How the movie starts off with the father announcing Wendy will move out of the nursery where her brothers are sleeping in because he believes it's time for her to grow up, I have mixed feelings on. Because even though what he says has some truth and how everyone in the family treats him has me sympathetic to him even after he changes his mind, how he announces that she's moving out of the nursery is meant to make us look at him like he's the bad guy. That and John and Michael playing before he enters the room doesn't help his case either. This scene is supposed to work by playing to the viewer's emotions. We're supposed to see him as unreasonable, but I can't help feeling bad for the oafish father. This is bad because our title hero won't be able to hear Wendy tell her brothers the stories of his adventures. What a tragedy. So Peter takes her and her brothers to Neverland, where Wendy can be a mother figure to him and the Lost Boys. I like Peter fine. I like his charisma, his sense of adventure, and how he's able to get around Hook, his fairy companion, Tinkerbell, who only communicates through bell ringing and is able to make people fly with pixie dust. I found her hard to like when she tries to have Wendy killed because she's jealous of the attention she's getting from Peter, until she saves him from a bomb left by Peter's enemy, Captain Hook. He hates him because he's the reason he lost his hand to a crocodile that stalks him throughout the movie. Him kidnapping Wendy and her brothers and leaving a bomb for Peter are great villain moments for this movie, and his reactions to the crocodile and running away from it are hysterical. Now for the part of the video you've probably been waiting for, the movie's depiction of Native Americans. In one part of the film, after Captain Hook kidnaps the chief's daughter in a failed attempt to catch Peter, while they are celebrating, the chief lets him tell everyone why he and his tribe have red skin. You want to know his reason? Because of their constant pursuit of women. I can't speak for Native Americans, but I think that's gross. I didn't talk about the animation because there isn't a lot to say about how this movie looks. It's mostly the same compared to other Disney feature films up to this point. It's very good. Peter Pan is a decently pretty and entertaining flick, yet its lack of depth does make me want to check out the book just to see how much potential they didn't tap into. But as is, this was a gay old time. Guys, what were your thoughts on this adaptation of J.M. Barrie's story? Comment below. If you guys want to stay updated on future videos and see some cool artwork, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and DeviantArt, and be sure to subscribe to my backup channel over on BitChute. The links are in the description. And if you want to be the first to know when a new video will be up, ring that bell after you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.